Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Session, and Mr. Seth Steeman, Vice President of the Board, will do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand. Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Number three, we will talk about announcements made in closed session under expulsions EH 24-25-66 through -69. Board voted unanimously 6-6 to approve. Under suspended expulsion contracts EH 2425-70 through -73, the board voted unanimously to approve those as well. And under revoked suspension expulsion contracts, EH 2425-26, the vote also had a unanimous vote to approve. And in the reinstatements, EH 2324-59, the vote was also a unanimous vote to approve. Also, in closed session, 2.6, Public Employee Appointment Discussion Position, Superintendent, Gov Code 54957. At the May 1st, 2025 Special Board meeting, the Board selected by unanimous vote by all trustees present to hire candidate Jordan Reeves as new Superintendent of Marysville Joint Unified School District. Mr. Reeves' employment as Superintendent will be finalized upon the approval of his employment contract at the Board's next regular meeting on May 27th, 2025. Comments from board members? Mr. Fuhrer. Dr. Yang.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate Jordan Reeves for being selected as the superintendent and note that he has all of our support. And we look forward for putting MJSD forward and improving MJSD. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor.
Again, congratulations, Jordan. Looking forward to working with you. Again, we're on the precipice of greatness. Continue that.
Mr. Steeman.
Thank you, Jordan. Congratulations. And I'd also like to thank everybody who was a part of that two-day process. Wednesday before last, I think we were all in here from 8 to 8 in the evening with interviews and deliberations, and the following day, about an 10-hour day, from 8 to 6 in that process. So I know on Wednesday, everybody who was a part of the panel, they gave a lot of their time. It was a very long day for everybody, so thank you very much for your time.
Mr. Crawford. And Student Representative Norlina In Sing Sing May. Okay. I'd also like to thank everybody for the participation in our superintendent selection. We reached out to community members, employer partnerships, students, teachers, administration, and thank you very much for that process, and it's greatly appreciated by the board. Moving on to number 7, comments from school site representatives. Olivehurst High School. Please state your name.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lucia Hernandez. I'm the ASB president of Olivehurst High School. This will be my last time addressing you guys as the board. It's been a pleasure to serve Olivehurst and to highlight all of our amazing accomplishments. Now, I'm going to introduce you guys to the next ASB president of Olivehurst, which is Evelyn Cupster, and she has a few things to say for you guys to say today. Oh, thank you.
Good evening, board members, MJSU staff, and community members. My name is Evelyn Kupser, and I will be the Lyndhurst High School ASP president this next school year. Tonight, I get to share with you all what is going on at LHS. Congratulations to the LHS Band and Choir for their 3rd place and good rating achievements at the Music in the Parks Music Festival this last weekend. Also, please consider joining the LHS Music Department as they celebrate the 50th Spring Concert and premiere a new piece entitled Blazing Onward. This piece was commissioned for this 50th concert, and the world will be hearing its first performance on Thursday night. Please join us in the LHS gym at 6 p.m. Now for FFA. 5 Lyndhurst FFA members applied to serve as Sierra Butte Sectional FFA officers. Congratulations to freshman Gabe Jara for being slated for the office of Sentinel. 8 Lyndhurst FFA members attended the state FFA final field day at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and competed in horse judging and veterinary science. 8 Lyndhurst FFA members recently attended the Sierra Butte Section FFA meeting at Lincoln High School. Erica Rivera Vargas did a great job helping put on the event as a current sectional officer. 10 Lyndhurst FFA members attended the Yuba County Office of Education Roll and Stroll last weekend to share with the public about FFA and ag education. Thank you to the MJUSD College and Career Team for putting this together. This week, Lyndhurst FFA will be interviewing and electing the 25 to 26 officer team. Thursday, May 22nd, will be the Lyndhurst FFA Awards Banquet. We are all excited to celebrate our year. We are also excited to welcome the California FFA State President, Camille Zavalva, to LHS to join us for our special evening. For details on the banquet, please reach out to FFA advisor, Mr. Chase Bisbee. A couple of things from the art department. This is our 2nd year of offering AP 2D art and design, and the 1st year for AP drawing. All enrolled students successfully submitted their portfolios to the College Board on time. They worked hard and created some amazing artwork. Their AP art and the art of all art and ceramic students at LHS will be on display for one night only at the annual LHS Student Art Show. All are welcome. This event will be held on the evening of Wednesday, May 28th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the gym foyer at Lyndhurst High School. It is free and a fun evening of celebration in the arts. We would love to see board members, district staff, and our local community there. The LHS Senior Awards Night will also be held on Wednesday, May 28th at 6 p.m. in the LHS Gymnasium. All members of the board are invited. Along with LHS senior activities, we have our senior breakfast June 6th. The seniors will share one last morning together wearing their LHS alumni shirts. After, they will attend our exit rally. Leadership is very excited to put this on for them. LHS students will have completed 349 AP exams and 18 portfolios submitted for art drawing and art studio. We're almost completely finished with our CASP testing for juniors and will be assessing school-wide for STAR Reading and STAR Math on 5/20 and 5/22. We had a wonderful LHS Staff Appreciation Week. Special thanks to our front office staff, in particular, Melanie Stanalan, Principal Secretary, who reached out to numerous vendors for donations. We had a great week of snacks, goodies, and raffle prizes for 124 staff members. Thank you, community partners, for your donation and for supporting our fabulous LHS staff. The LHS softball team has made the playoffs for the first time since 2016, and our LHS tennis team has made playoffs for their 13th year in a row and is currently in their 2nd round. As you can see, there is no shortage of things to do at LHS. Go Blazers.
Thank you. Evelyn, congratulations on your election. We look forward to great things from you and your other candidates from the school, so thank you. Marysville Charter Academy of the Arts.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sahesh Gurwal, and I am the ASP president at Marysville Charter Academy for the Arts. On April 17th, we hosted our annual Spring Carnival in the Quad, which was a huge success, filled with games, food, music, and fun for everyone. Earlier in the semester, on March 14th, we also held our first annual Morp Dance, which was a really fun twist, and there was a great turnout, so I'm glad that went amazing. And to help boost school spirit, we also organized a school-wide rock, paper, scissors tournament, which was a lot of fun for all our students, and it was great to see so much energy and collaboration across all grades. Recently, our drama department put on an incredible performance of Percy Jackson the musical, showcasing the talent and dedication of our student actors and crew. Prom also took place on May 3rd, with the theme being A City of Stars, and it was definitely a memorable night for our upperclassmen. Looking ahead, Music Week starts next week on Monday the 19th until Thursday the 22nd with daily performances from different music departments. Additionally, our second annual Linkapalooza dance is also coming up next Friday, which will feature live student performances and lots of fun. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Ms. Gurwal. Marysville High School.
Good evening. My name is Gabriela DeVargas. I'm Marysville High School Senior Class President. As the end of the school year approaches, we're prepping for prom as well as graduation. Our theme for prom this year is the Met Gala, and it will be this Saturday. FFA will hold their end of the year banquet on May 21st to celebrate MHS chapter members and welcome our new officer team. FFA just wrapped up a fundraiser bingo dinner as well, which went great. At the beginning of the month, ASB held a Soak Leader fundraiser where basically students paid to dump water on us. Elections for both FFA officers and ASB officers recently concluded, and we have some amazing new leaders coming into those positions next year. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gabrielle. North and South, Lyndhurst High School. No? All right, moving on to number 8, opportunity for employee organizations to address the board. Marysville Unified Teachers Association, Angela Stiegel.
Good evening, board. Angela Stiegel, president for the Marysville Unified Teachers Association. And first off, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow is the California Day of the Teacher. And so I, of course, want to make sure that I thank all of the amazing, wonderful professional educators that I work with. I am beyond proud to be a public school teacher, and I am honored and privileged to work in the community in which I was born and raised, and to work with the students and the teachers that I get to work with every single day. It's no secret also that we're gearing up for the end of the year. We are oh so close. Senioritis is thick at the high schools, in case you're wondering. The big thing in gearing up for the end of the year, though, especially on the teacher end of things, is just to put it out there in the universe that we would like to have a safe end of the school year. We would like to get to the end of the school year and get through all the various festivities with all of our students and their families able to enjoy things and to not be touched by any sort of sadness or tragedy between now and then, in particularly. A big congratulations to all of our students, particularly, I might be slightly biased since I teach high school, but particularly to our graduates and our class of 2025. Also to all of our students who are promoting, and also people who get left out and forgotten sometimes in this time of the year. But I also want to make sure to thank all of the people who make all of these end of the year festivities possible. Our site and district staff members, the parents, the family members, community members, alumni, local businesses, community members who all pitch in and dedicate, and donate a lot of time and energy and effort to make all of our promotion activities, all of our graduations, the success and the very positive memories that they are for our students. It takes a lot of people to pull those events off, and sometimes in the hectic end of the school year, people do not get the recognition and the thanks that they deserve for that. It does take a lot of people to make those things a big success. Speaking of special events, though, quite selfishly, I will say that Marysville High School has their prom on Saturday. And so if anybody is available Saturday night and you want to chaperone prom, hey, jazz up your weekend, give you something different to do. You can go down to what they now refer to as the 530 building, which I'm going to make myself sound really old, is actually the Montgomery Ward's warehouse. But anyways, if you want to go down and help them out for a few hours, they would really appreciate it. And it does give you, especially as board members, but even as community members, a whole different way to see and view our students and to be able to, as they say, hang out with them on a very special night. So if you are able to help out, feel free to reach out to Alicia Wright or Alicia Wiggins, either one. Alicia Wiggins is the class advisor that's putting that on. Speaking of Saturday as well, I would just like to ask that anybody within the sound of my voice, including our board members here, to join teachers from all over the state on Saturday as we fight for our public schools. CTA is putting together events at 5 different cities within the state. And for us in Northern California, it'll be Sacramento, and we will be at the Cesar Chavez Plaza at 11 a.m. on Saturday. We really need to stop the attacks on our students, on our communities, on our teachers, on our public schools, including our own district. And for me, this has absolutely nothing to do with where anybody is on a political spectrum. This is about students, this is about our communities as part of that, and this is about public education. And so on Saturday, we're gonna be doing all we can to stop the attack on our public schools and our students. And within that, I know that people think this is about just fighting for students like in general, and it's very easy to think that way, but this is going to impact Marysville Joint Unified in a big way. I have heard people say that the elimination of the U.S. Department of Education really is kind of, no big deal. And I have asked for and received assistance in getting together exactly what a big deal it really is for Marysville Joint Unified. And so if you're wondering, Marysville Joint Unified federal funding, Title I, which helps us to help our disadvantaged students and our low-income families, would be impacted by over $4.5 million. IDEA, which is our special education, would be impacted by nearly $2.5 million. Child nutrition, which is our school meals, which is how it is that our students even have the base ability to try to come to school and concentrate in our classrooms, would be impacted by over $7.7 million. Perkins, which is our CTE, over $170,000. Forest reserves, which we do actually have some federal forest land, over $21,000, for a grand total of almost $15 million to Marysville Joint Unified. So you're looking at almost $1,600 per student. It's about 6% of our total budget. I know on the budget or on the agenda tonight, we do have, unfortunately, layoffs that are on there due to a situation that we find ourselves in. We can't afford 6% of our budget, and our students shouldn't have to, and our students don't deserve it, and our public schools and this public school district does not deserve it. And so if there's anybody else who would like to join me, I will be there on Saturday, and I will be proudly representing the school district, myself, my community, my teachers union, as I fight for the students and the parents here in Marysville. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Operating engineers, local union number 3. California School Employees Association 236 and 648. And Association of Management and Confidential Employees. Supervisory unit. Okay. We'll move on to number 9, public comment. Persons wishing to address the board under public comments or a specific agenda item prior to the board taking action must complete a public comments card and place it in the basket, which looks something like this right here. Speakers will be invited to the podium in order of the public comment cards they were received. The public may address topics not on the agenda during the section of the agenda or ask that they be heard during a specific agenda item. Comments are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker, 20 minutes total time for public input on each item per board bylaw 9323. The Ralph Brown Act prevents the Board of Trustees from responding to these comments with the exception of clarifying questions. California Government Code section 54954.2 A states that no action or discussion shall be undertaken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda, except that members of a legislative body or its staff may briefly respond to the statements made or questions posed by persons exercising their public testimony rights under Section 54954.3. We will now hear public comments. The first up is Jamie. Do we have a Jamie? Jamie, thank you. Welcome, Jamie.
Hello. My name is Jamie, and I am here speaking on behalf of a survey that went out at Foothill Middle School a few weeks ago. It was called a student climate survey. Some of the questions on the survey were pretty alarming to the kids as well as the parents. So I have a couple copies if nobody has seen the survey, or if they haven't seen the letter that was supposed to go out before the survey took place. Okay, so there was supposed to be a letter that went out before the survey was given to the kids. I never received the letter. Kids are supposed to be able to opt out. It was not the case. The letter was also extremely vague as to what the survey would be about. And some students felt pressured by teachers to take the survey that was supposed to be anonymous and not forced. So to my knowledge, these survey questions can be handpicked. Can I get that clarified? That these questions were handpicked, or?
Yeah, we can get that addressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I also wanted to ask if, I mean, I had a meeting with both the principal, Karen Villalobos, and Zach Bless, and they were not extremely helpful. He told me he couldn't handpick questions, and I've heard otherwise from multiple different sources that he could have chosen not to. To my knowledge, he was the one responsible for the survey, as well as, I believe, Amy Stratton. I would like to clarify that as well, of who was in charge of that. And both in the meeting, both Karen and Zach admitted that they knew that this survey would bring backlash, and they chose to still send it out. So, I mean, we send our kids to these schools, you know, praying that these principals and people protect our kids, and some of the morals are just not lining up. This survey was completely inappropriate on some of the questions they asked, and I don't think they, you know, worried about the kids at all. So I don't know if there's anything that can be answered or clarified, but I was just hoping to bring light to this, and that it can just be more transparent, because it seems like it's not being transparent and not being addressed.
Does the board have any clarifying questions?
Yeah, I would like some clarification on if PBIS does in fact require these questions be asked. If anybody can answer that? I'm sorry? Okay.
So the survey is a climate survey. The climate survey is done by PBIS. It's not a mandated survey. We are required for LCAP to survey our students to get an idea of how they feel at school. It asks a total of 9 questions to the kids. Most of the questions are, do you feel safe at school? Do you feel respected by others? That's the nature of the survey. There are some questions ahead of time, which Jamie is referring to, that does ask some clarifying questions, asking whether the student, what the student's gender is, and at the middle school level, if they have a sexual orientation. Those are the pieces that upset the community. The main purpose and the rationale behind asking those questions is because a kid's sexuality or gender might influence how they feel at school, whether they feel safe, whether they feel respect at the school. That's the research theory behind it. I understand why Jamie was upset about it. We'd had a discussion about that piece, but that is the rationale and the reason why they asked those questions. It was not meant to hurt or intimidate. These are anonymous questions. Kids are allowed to free, and we aren't able to look at the individual surveys of the students. It's to give a general idea of how kids feel.
So those particular questions, are they mandatory?
The particular questions
specifically about sexuality, are those mandatory?
The survey itself is a package. I can't control the questions. I wasn't able to say, hey, I want to do this one and not do that. We did ask if we could select those. We can't. So it's either you use the PBIS survey or you don't. The piece that is optional is whether we use that as a particular survey. So that is an option that was available. but it's not mandated that we use it. It is mandated that we have a climate survey, and PBIS is a nationally recognized institution that most schools in the state of California use.
So were the parents given proper notice that these questions were going to be asked of their children?
The survey was available at school. We did notify families that it was coming out. It did go out a week in advance via Parent Square.
The survey was available via Parent Square?
The survey, any parent that requested it, we had it available. We did not send it out directly with the letter itself.
Jamie, when you saw the letter, was there any indication to you that you should be worried about the content of that survey?
No. And that was another thing that was kind of frustrating, was that this survey that went out had district's letterhead on it, had every board member's name on the side, and to my knowledge, the board had no idea that this was going out. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but this seems like it's not okay.
So even though you got an opt-out letter, there was no reason for you to even consider why you would opt out?
Yeah, it was,
child.
and I can give, like I said, I have 6 copies of both the letter that we were supposed to receive that I never physically received. So besides the Parent Square notification, this letter was extremely vague, gave me no indication that my children were going to be asked about their sexuality at school.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
You said that you had copies. Could I see one of those?
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Jamie. Next, we have Natalie Lee. Natalie Lee.
Hello, I'm Natalie, and I am here to talk about the climate survey as well. The survey did go out through Aries Parent Square, but it was very vague, misleading, and lacked essential details about the nature of the survey or the type of questions the students would be required to answer. I believe that the lack of transparency is concerning. As parents, we should have been given ample notice and full access to the survey contents beforehand, allowing us the opportunity to review the questions and opt our children out if we didn't want them to answer those questions. This is not about rejecting the idea of feedback or student input, but rather about ensuring that parents are properly informed and that students' well-being and privacy are respected at all times. And I talked to Zach and I talked to the principal as well. I understand it was anonymous, but I don't think that our children should be asked those questions. That's it.
Any other clarifying questions from the board?
Yeah, I do have another one for whoever can answer this. The letter that was sent out, was that letter pre-written by PBIS as well, or did we craft that letter?
That comes from PBIS, it's what they recommend that we send out.
Can we edit that letter?
Yeah, we can edit that letter. That was, yeah. It was just a sample piece of what they recommended. It has links to where the research comes from. So it's that's why we used it.
Thank you. Cassandra Osborne.
Good evening. My name is Cassandra, and I'm a parent and a board member of a local PTO. The PTO was established to promote collaboration between parents and educators with the shared goal of enhancing student experiences. A strong PTO leads to greater parent involvement, which correlates with a higher academic performance, better attendance, and fewer behavioral issues. We also raise funds responsibly, aligned with 501c3 and MJUSD standards to support classrooms, field trips, school improvements, and more. We don't take this responsibility lightly, and we strive to uphold a standard of integrity and excellence in all that we do. As this challenging school year concludes, I'm here to express a growing concern regarding the lack of clear policy on teacher behavior towards parents and volunteers, which nearly led to the resignations of key board members due to hostile conditions, which would have had an immediate negative impact on our school. This year, a teacher requested PTO fiscal sponsorship for a fundraiser and thereafter refused to follow protocols and became hostile when asked for documentation for the reconciliation of their fundraising monies. Their response escalated to online bullying via libelous emails copied to all site staff, which included threats of public defamation and even called the police, citing grand theft due to our need to freeze the funds while we waited for the necessary documentation. Following the conclusion of our fiscal relationship with the teacher, the PTO attempted to file a uniform complaint, and we discovered that there's no clear policy that exists regarding teacher conduct towards parents or volunteers. While student and staff responsibilities are well-defined, posted policies governing teacher-community interactions are vague or absent. And since there were no other policies to cite, we ultimately lodged our complaint as a civility issue, but are unaware of an outcome at this time. We would appreciate an update on that. It is obvious that this behavior is unacceptable. Looking to the future, the 2024 California Standards for the Teaching Profession, adopted in April 2024 to be implemented by July 2026, explicitly require teachers to act with honesty, integrity, and respect in all interactions, including those with the community. These standards also mandate adherence to non-instructional duties under district guidelines, which include fundraising, and the ethical use of technology with students and all members of the school community, all of which could have made all the difference this year. Given the seriousness of the conduct we experienced, I strongly urge our new superintendent and the district to adopt and enforce these standards immediately ahead of the July 2026 deadline. Doing so is essential for the integrity of our schools, the continued success of local PTOs in support of our schools in our area, and most importantly, the well-being of our children. If any board member has questions or would like to connect with me after this is concluded, I would be happy to meet with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassandra. Next up, we have Mandy Gray.
Hello, I'm Mandy Gray, and my concern goes along with Cassandra's about there's not really easy access to how we handle these situations when a teacher harasses volunteers or parents, and also vice versa when a parent harasses a teacher. So I would like, if that's something you guys are working on, making that clear and available so people can find these guidelines easier. And like Cassandra said, we had a hard time trying to find how we would make the complaint. We actually had to ask 2 or 3 different people, and they had to get clarification from the district as to where we find this complaint form. So that is just bringing that to your guys' attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy. I would like to make just a quick clarifying comment. Thank you. You guys are a very important part, an integral part actually of the whole process of employer partnerships, teacher partnerships, parent partnerships, and organizations that support everybody here. And if those behaviors that you mentioned are going on, they're unacceptable. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about that later if we can. Thank you. Now what I was waiting for, presentations. But before so, I have superintendent updates.
All right, just a couple quick updates as we are all waiting here for the mariachis. I want to thank the board for the opportunity to continue in the role I'm in, to move the district forward and to continue to work with our labor partners, all stakeholders in our community. So again, thank you for the opportunity. And quickly today at Cedar Lane, they had the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Cedar Lane Sidewalk Project. So again, thank you to partnerships with Yuba County, Yuba Water, community members. If you've not been around Cedar Lane and see the new sidewalks around there, they're absolutely beautiful, creating safe passage for students and parents to access Cedar Lane Elementary. So again, a very nice project, and we certainly appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves. And now we have 11.1 performance by the Aroga Elementary School Mariachi Band, led by teacher Deanna Olson.
I'd like to introduce Deanna Olson and her mariachi presentation.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es señor Barriga. Soy maestro en las escuelas de Arboga y Marysville, las prepas. Este programa es posible primeramente por la Alianza de Avance Hispano, quien proporcionó la mayoría de nuestros instrumentos. El Concilio de Arte, los condados de Yuba-Sutter, patrocinaron a las señoras Olsen y Foch para asistir a una conferencia nacional de mariachi. Y eso fue a cabo el verano antes del mariachi en el 2023. El distrito ha proporcionado trompetas y violines de las escuelas por el distrito, particularmente Arboga y Kynoch. Por medio de fondos de ELOP, hemos podido pagarle a los maestros en los últimos 2 años. Y recientemente hemos comprado 5 trompetas para el programa. La señora Olsen y yo vamos a asistir a una conferencia este verano, otra vez con fondos de ELOP y la proposición 28 de la Escuela de Arboga. Queremos agradecer a las organizaciones mencionadas por el apoyo para empezar este programa. Es nuestro deseo que por medio de la proposición 28, los fondos, yo pueda enseñar una unidad de mariachi avanzado dentro del horario de la escuela en Arboga el año que viene. Pero no hemos podido llegar a este acuerdo, el desarrollo es un poco lento. El programa batalla después de la escuela, en las escuelas primarias, por medio de los deportes, ¿verdad? Esto es el fracaso que ha sucedido en la escuela de Yuba Gardens. Nuestra visión es tener mariachi en todas las escuelas y las prepas en este distrito. Es posible solamente por medio de entrenamientos y que los recursos humanos sean proactivos y contraten a gente para hacer esto posible. Ante nada, queremos agradecer a nuestras familias del mariachi. El apoyo de los padres para este programa es casi 100%, que es algo que no se escucha en programas de la escuela. Viajamos fuera de la ciudad y siempre tenemos nuestras familias presentes. Mariachi es su cultura y su historia. Nos está permitiendo el privilegio de tocarlo. Gracias.
Now in English. My name is Deanna Olson. I am the music teacher at Arboga. This program is possible first and foremost by the Alliance for Hispanic Advancement, who supplied the majority of our instruments. The Yuba-Sutter Arts Council sponsored Senoras Olson and Focht to attend the National Conference of Mariachi Educators training the summer before its inception in 2023. MJUSD has supplied the instruments and violins from our schools throughout the district, particularly Arboga and Kynoch. Through ELOP funds, we have been able to pay our instructors for the past 2 school years and recently purchased 5 trumpets for the program. Myself and Senor Barriga will attend the conference this summer with funding from ELOP and Prop 28 site funds from Arboga. We thank all of the previously mentioned organizations for the support to get this program up and running. It is our hope that through Prop 28 funding, Senor Barriga will be able to teach 1 unit of advanced mariachi within the school day at Arboga next year, but we have gained very little traction on this development. The program struggles after school at the middle school due to sports, which accounts for the failure of the program at Yuba Gardens. Our vision is to have mariachi at all of the middle schools and high schools across the district, which is only possible through training and a proactive approach from human resources to hire the workforce it would take to make this possible. Foremost, we thank the families of our mariachi. Parent support for this program is nearly 100%, which is unheard of in any middle school program. Can our mariachi de familia raise your hand? If you're a parent of mariachi, please raise your hand. We travel out of town and always have the presence of our families. Mariachi is about their culture and their history. They only allow us the privilege to play it. Thank you. The performance you are about to see is a presentation by Arboga's Mariachi. We are not a band or a group or even really an orchestra. We are mariachi. An individual who plays mariachi is referred to as mariachi.
Sí, señor. 1, 2, 3, 1.
Yeah. Responsible for this mariachi. Can you say a couple words, Vera?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear my name way back there. I want to thank the board, and I especially want to thank Arboga Mariachi. It is so proud. I am so proud as someone that with the Yuba-Sutter Arts was able to get a grant to start this. And if it wouldn't have been for the help of the Marysville Unified School District, it wouldn't have had continued, it wouldn't have looked like this. Imagine what these kids are going to do with their lives down the road. Imagine that they have learned an instrument that they've never touched before. They've learned another language, and learned to sing it. This is what we're missing in everything we do in school, people. We need to teach them that there is a bigger world besides their little world. And for me, as I've been with the Alliance for 30 years, and this is my greatest achievement, is to do this. And I'm so proud with Deanna, Maisie, Samuel, and Señor Lalo. Lalo is a member of AHA, and he's my liaison. When I say Lalo, I need you to go talk to them or do this. He is always so good, but I am so proud of the school district for funding this, and I hope you continue. Don't let this fall, because this is something they're going to learn in different levels of their life, because when they go to college or they go somewhere else, they can do this as a sideline to earn money. This is what we need to teach all our kids, is whatever they learn to do in anything, they can continue in life. Deanna told me I only had 1 minute, but I can go on forever. But I just want to say I am so proud, and congratulations, sir, for being new people here, and please continue with whatever happens in all the music, in the art. And I know you have one here in this area in Marysville other than Arboga. Why don't we collaborate and have some fun, have a nice fiesta with everybody together and show what our arts is all about? So thank you again, and thank you from the Alliance for Hispanic Advancement and Yuba-Sutter Arts. Gracias.
Oh my gosh, where'd it go? Do you have the page, Senor?
Hi, my name is Enrique, and I'm a member for Advoga Mariachi. And one reason why I joined Mariachi is to represent my culture.
Okay, another student that couldn't be here, his quote is, para mí, ser mariachi es tocar en un escenario y que miren mis padres. Yo me siento bien haciendo mariachi y poder darle gusto a mis padres. A mí me gusta el mariachi mucho. So for me, being a mariachi is to play on stage and parents watching me. I feel well performing mariachi and making my parents proud, and I like mariachi a lot.
My name is Jaden, and I am representing my family's culture.
Thank you, board. We really appreciate you giving us the time for this presentation. Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and move on to 12.1, approval of the revised January 14th, 2025 regular board meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the revised minutes of the January 14th, 2025 regular meeting? Motion from Seth Steeman. And a second. Mr. Oliver Taylor. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Frank Crawford on abstentions. 12.2, approval of the April 3rd, 2025 special board meeting minutes. Are there any noted corrections? If not, do I have a motion to approve? Motion from Seth Steeman. And a second. Dr. Yang. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions, Seth Fuhrer and Frank Crawford. 12.3, approval of the April 8th, 2025 regular board meeting minutes. Are there any noted corrections? Do I have a motion to approve the April 8th, 2025 board meeting? Mr. Taylor, and a second? Okay, okay, and I got that from Mr. Fuhrer. Any opposed? All in favor? Yes, and motion carries. Abstention, no. And 12.4, approval of the April 15th, 2025 special board meeting minutes. Is there any noted corrections? If not, do I have a motion for approval? Yang, and a second? Steinman, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions, Stefan Fuhrer. Only a couple more to go, guys. 12.5, approval of the April 25th, 2025 special board meeting. Are there any corrections? If not, do I have a motion to approve? Oliver Taylor. A second? Seth Steeman. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carries. Abstentions from Stefan Fuhrer, Ricardo Galicia, and Mr. Crawford. 12.6, approval of the April 30th, 2025 special board meeting. Are there any noted corrections? If not, do I have a motion to approve? Oliver Taylor. And second? Yang. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Abstentions, Stefan Fuhrer, Ricardo Galicia, and Frank Crawford. And 12.7, May 1st, 2025 special board meeting minutes. Are there any noted corrections? No. If not, do we have a motion to approve? Seth Steeman, and a second? Mr. Yang. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I have abstentions from Stefan Fuhrer, Ricardo Galicia, and Frank Crawford. I have one more. 12.8, approval of consent agenda items, pages 8 through 28. We will now approve the consent agenda items 15.1 through 17.8. Is there any item that the board would like to pull for further clarification? If not, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 15.1 through 17.8? Frank Crawford first, and who, is it a second? Mr. Fuhrer, second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. No abstentions. Motion carries. Moving on to new business, Superintendent, 18.1, second read, approve and adopt the board policies, administrative regulations, and exhibits for section 7,000, which is facilities.
Thank you. Yes, this is an action item by the board to approve our policies for section 7,000, our facilities. This is also the second read.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Ms. Pasaglia? No? If that is okay, can I have a motion for approval? Motion from Seth Steeman. And do I have a second? Second from Mr. Crawford. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to new business, administrative services, there's none. So number 20, new business, educational services. 20.1, review the closure of Marysville Joint Unified School District Adult Educational Program. This is a discussion, there is no motion, and I do have a public comment. Natalie Carnegas.
My name is Natalie Carnegas, and I'm a parent of a Marysville High School student, and until recently, I served as the supervisor of adult education here at MJUSD. In February, upon learning that our adult education program was being considered for elimination, Under the upcoming budget cuts, I sent a video to both the board and the cabinet. My intent was simple. It was to ensure that everyone involved in the decision-making process clearly understood how our program was funded. That same day, I was reprimanded through personnel and directed not to communicate with any board or cabinet member under any circumstances. That action felt like an attempt to silence me and to prevent the truth from being heard before critical decisions were made, and unfortunately, it succeeded. But now I'm no longer subject to directive from personnel, and tonight I'm here to correct the record publicly, not because I believe it will reverse the decision, but because our community deserves transparency, especially when decisions have been presented as necessary budget cuts, when that characterization is misleading at best. The adult education program at MJUSD is fully funded through external grants and partnerships. There are 3 primary funding sources: the CCSPP grant, a partnership with Yuba County Health and Human Services for their CalWorks department, and the ELL IET grant in partnership with Yuba County One Stop and the Yuba County Office of Education. Each of these partnerships includes dedicated funding for materials and supplies and our teacher pay. So yes, the district technically pays for expenses up front, but every single month we submit invoices and are fully reimbursed by our partners. On top of covering all the costs, the district earns a 7.18% indirect rate on every invoice submitted. So not only is the program self-sustaining, it actually brings in a small revenue. And none of this information is confidential. It is all in the archived board meeting minutes. But calling the elimination of this program a budget cut is simply inaccurate. This is not about cost, and this is about declining external funding and walking away from a vital community service. And to illustrate just how tightly we managed our budget, at the end of the 23-24 school year, our program director and I met with the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, and we were told that we came within $13 of our allocated budget. $13. If that margin was enough to justify dissolving the entire department, I could have written a personal check. When I sent you that video, I asked that my statements be corrected if they were wrong, and I heard nothing. Before your decision was made, not one of you reached out to ask questions about what I said or to provide me with information that would clarify how adult education impacts the general fund. Not one of you came by to see our classrooms. Not one of you talked to our students. Several cabinet members came by early on a Monday morning, but it was to check out the rooms because they wanted to use them for the technology department, but for no other reason. You have already made your decision, but at the very least, I ask this board and this cabinet to stop mischaracterizing it. Be honest with the public, own the decision, and tell the truth about what's being lost.
Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate your comments. All right, moving on to Amy Stratton, Executive Director of Ed Services, to present.
Okay, 20.1. This is a procedural requirement. Tonight we have the discussion about closing the Marysville Adult Education Program, and the next board meeting you take action on it. So this is the discussion part of it. So the need to close the Marysville Adult Education Program is due to the fiscal impact on the district. Are there any questions for me regarding this?
It was a great program. I didn't see it, but I know why.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would like to have addressed the young lady that just left. I would have some questions for her, because she said there was 3 different funding sources, so it actually doesn't impact the general fund. So I would have liked to have had some dialogue, about that. So can anyone else answer those questions?
Sure, yes. We did have grants that help fund the adult ed program. That is true. The CCSPP grant is not intended for adult ed programs. It's the first line of the grant says K through 12 education. So we also exceeded the amount that was allowed for administration out of the CCSPP grant to help fund for the director, the supervisor for administration out of CCSPP, even if it was allowable. So there were a lot of other pieces that went along with this. We did have a couple grants, yes, that paid for certain activities of adult ed, but it didn't cover the entire cost.
So it's the general fund that back-funded
Correct.
everything else, and that was led to the downfall of the actual program.
Yes, that's correct. And in the first year, we had ESSER funding, the COVID relief dollars that helped get it started, but those ended. And so we didn't have those going into the second year of the program.
Any further questions? Move on to 20.2, review the closure of the Middle College Academy. This is discussion, no motion. Ms. Stratton?
Yes, again, like the adult education program, this is for the discussion of the closure of Middle College. The fiscal impact on the district has made it a necessity to close the program. Questions I can answer?
Any questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Amy. 20.3, public notice and review for the adoption of Amira Reading Difficulties Risk Screener for 2025-26 school year. This again is a discussion item, no motion.
Good evening. I'm Lori Guy, Director of Data and Student Improvement. The background of this item is that Code 53008 requires all California local education agencies to adopt a screening instrument by June 30th. So tonight we'd like to open it for public comment. And the purpose is to allow for early identification and intervention of students with reading difficulties, including dyslexia, for students in grades kindergarten through grade 2. We conducted several demonstration trials with 2 of the programs, and all K-2 teachers were given opportunities to participate. We did have a good level of involvement, and Amira was the program that came out as the selection for our district. So we'd like to open for public view. There will be a Chromebook, actually it's going to be a laptop now, with login information located in the entrance lobby for the district and public to view the program. And there'll be resources, both online and hard copies of resources for the public to view. Any questions?
Any questions from the board?
The cost is approximately, the state gives us $22 per student, and the cost of it is $20 per student. Okay, and then additionally, so we'll keep it open until June 9th through June 9th for public review in the lobby. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Lori. Moving on to new business personnel, 21.1, approve the tentative agreement between MJUSD and unrepresented employees. Ashley Vetty.
Good evening. The purpose of this agenda item is to request the governing board approve the tentative agreement between the Marysville Joint Unified School District and our unrepresented employee group. These articles have been the subject of negotiations for the 23-24 and 24-25 school year.
Any questions from the board for clarification? If not, do I have a motion to approve? I have a motion to approve on the floor from Frank Crawford. Do I have a second? I got a second from Seth Steeman. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 21.2, approval of tentative agreement between MJUSD and CSEA, chapter number 648. Ms. Vetty?
Again, the purpose of this agenda item is requesting the board approve the tentative agreement between our CSEA 648, which is our certificated preschool teachers, and MJUSD.
Any clarifying questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion to approve? Mr. Fuhrer, a motion to approve, and do I have a second? I'll second. A second from Mr. Crawford. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 21.3, approval of the tentative agreement between MJUSD and AMACE, Associated Management and Confidential Employees. Once again, Ms. Vetty.
And again, the purpose of this agenda item is to request the governing board approve the tentative agreement between the Marysville Joint Unified School District and the AMACE group.
Does any board members have any questions about the AMACE contract? No? Okay, then I get a motion to approve then. Motion from Mr. Oliver Taylor, and how about a second? Second from Mr. Yang. Any opposed? All in favor? Motion carries. 21.4, resolution of the 2024-25/25 reduction of discontinuance of classified services for lack of work or lack of funds. Ms. Vetty?
The purpose of this agenda item is to request that the Board of Trustees approve the final resolution 2024-25/25 reduction or discontinuance of classified services for lack of work, lack of funds. Ed Code Section 45177, sub C, provides the board shall make the final determination as to the sufficiency of the cause and disposition of the layoff. And just a little bit of background, in February 2025, or February 25th, 2025, is when we began the process and adopted the first resolution. And so now we're at the conclusion of the process.
Thank you, Ms. Vetty. Any questions from the board? Do I have a motion to approve? Mr. Fuhrer, and a second? Mr. Steeman? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 21.5, resolution number 2024-25/26, reducing or eliminating particular kinds of services relating to certificated employees. Ashley Vetty?
The purpose of this agenda item is to approve the final resolution number 2024-25/26, reducing or eliminating particular kinds of service related to certificated employees. Ed Code Section 44949 and 44951, subdivision C3, provides the board shall make the final determination as to the sufficiency of the cause and disposition of the layoff.
Thank you. Any questions from the board for clarification? With that, do I have a motion to approve? Mr. Crawford has a motion to approve on the floor. Do I have a second? Mr. Taylor has a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to thank everyone. Our next regular scheduled meeting is May 27, 2025. This meeting is now adjourned.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
For 70 years, we have flown at 70,000 feet. Beale Air Force Base invites you to the Beale Air and Space Expo, celebrating a legacy of reconnaissance. Witness an astonishing lineup of aerial performances on June 7th and 8th. Free tickets are available at BealeAirShow.com.
You've seen signs marking some of the gems in Marysville. They're produced by Sapphire Sign Company, providing something small, large, and mobile. With decades of experience, Sapphire Signs has pioneered local production of a variety of signs, like temporary campaign-style signs, welcomes for unique events, building signage, event promotion, and vehicle customization. Need a sign? Make it a gem from Sapphire Sign Company. On the web at sapphiremarketinggroup.net.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties.
Yuba-Sutter done alive. It's the truth that comes through. Yuba-Sutter done alive. It's the truth that comes through.